Hello, my name is Tom Farrell, and I'm currently a superintendent of schools as well as an adjunct professor for both education and business. I've studied and researched leadership in both my MBA and doctorate programs at Monmouth University. I believe that I could share some practical experience from my time in the private sector business world and that in the public sector, as well as coaching. Today, I'll be talking about understanding two leadership styles: transactional leadership style and transformational leadership style. Leadership styles influence an organization in many ways, whether it's autocratic, transactional, laissez-faire, delegative, transformational, or servant leadership style. Performance outcomes, culture, and structure can all be affected by leadership style. A leader's approach integrates all levels of an organization: decision-making processes and procedures, innovation and collaboration, and staff engagement. You can have competent leadership and still not move an organization forward. Transactional leadership style is a good example of this. This style, which I will further detail, managed through systems and processes. Transformational leadership style leads through vision and empowerment. This style, which I will also detail further, puts people before structure. Transactional leadership is a leadership style that is based on structured tasks, rules, and daily operations. And it includes extrinsic motivation strategies such as rewards and punishments. It focuses on order and compliance and end result performance. This leadership style is predominantly a short-term strategy with clearly defined roles and expectations. Transformational leadership is a leadership style that strives to inspire and motivate people to move an organization forward and exceed expectations. It is a vision-driven, future-focused strategy that encourages innovation and individual creativity. This strategy focuses on people, building trust and strong interpersonal relationships within an organization. Transactional leadership is a style that knows where it wants to move an organization to, but doesn't always really communicate nor motivate how to get there. The transaction is that the organization pays the team members in return for their effort and compliance. Its focus is on short-term tasks and typically has reduced job satisfaction. It has limitations for knowledge-based or creative work, but remains a common style in many organizations today. Transformational leadership, or coaching or inspiring, uses a shared vision to motivate. Transformational leaders are highly visible and spend a lot of time communicating. These leaders are progressive and innovative and typically encourage both professional and personal growth in their staff. Transformational leadership at its core emphasizes building strong relationships and prioritizing people over rigid structures. Let's listen to a short video from the American Management Association on transactional and transformational leadership styles.
Hello, I'm Harold Lewis, a leadership expert and a member of the AMA faculty. Many leaders are transactional leaders. They motivate employees by exchanging compensation and incentives for performance. Transformational leaders go beyond this to focus on areas like employee growth, motivation, and collaboration. Each style has its place depending on the situation and the organization. So let's look at some of the pros and cons of each. Transformational leadership can be an advantageous way to lead due to its focus on inspiration, which can result in better performance. A shared vision. This supports focus and alignment with goals, teamwork and collaboration, which helps improve trust and efficiency, and morale and motivation may increase. But there may be disadvantages, like less constructive dialogue and feedback if the vision is overly powerful. Its greater focus on change may feel disruptive, and individual creativity might suffer due to the emphasis on collaboration. Transactional leadership can also offer advantages like clear expectations and metrics, stronger compliance with rules and policies, and it may be more conducive to individual creativity. Possible disadvantages include morale problems due to less inspirational leadership, collaboration might be a lower priority, and change, even if needed, may be seen as the enemy. So both transformational and transactional leadership styles have positives and negatives, but each can be very useful when you apply them in the right circumstances.
To reiterate, an example of a transactional leader could be a manager rewarding staff for meeting monthly sales quotas, where an example of a transformational leader could be that leader that inspires staff with a shared vision to reinvent the customer experience. Leadership guru John Maxwell says that we manage processes and procedures, but we lead people. People precede structure. Too often, leaders put their energy into buildings, systems, and things, but it's the people that live on that is our legacy. Many successful transformational leaders make time for the most important tasks, like connecting with people and building strong relationships with their staff. I have found that the more organized and streamlined I can make my operational tasks, transactional, the more I can be visible and connect with people in the organization, transformational. And this in turn is what moves an organization forward. In conclusion, both leadership styles can be valuable depending on an organizational structure, environment, and current challenges. Most effective leaders skillfully combine elements from both styles based on situational needs. Both styles can be useful depending on an organization's structure, environment, people, and context. Transactional strengths provide stability and structure, while transformational has the power of growth and change. Effective leaders often blend some of both approaches. I want to share a video from one of my favorites, Simon Sinek. It is a long video. I'm going to pause it at about the 3.5-minute mark, but I encourage you all to see this video in its entirety, as it does give some great case studies and even an example of a transformational leadership style.
There are two things that I think that great leaders need to have: empathy and perspective. And I think these things are very often forgotten. Leaders are so often so concerned about their status or their position in an organization, they actually forget their real job. And the real job of a leader is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in our charge. And I don't think people realize this, and I don't think people train for this. When we're junior, our only responsibility is to be good at our jobs. That's all we really have to do. And some people actually go get advanced educations so that they can be really good at their jobs, accountants or whatever, right? And you show up and you work hard, and the company will give us tons and tons of training how to do our jobs. They'll show us how to use the software. They'll send us away for a few days to get trained in whatever it is that we're doing for the company. And then they expect us to go be good at our job. And that's what we do. We work very hard. And if you're good at your job, they'll promote you. And at some point, you'll get promoted to a position where we're now responsible for the people who do the job we used to do, but nobody shows us how to do that. And that's why we get managers and not leaders. Because the reason our managers are micromanaging us is because they actually do know how to do the job better than us. That's what got them promoted. Really, what we have to do is go through a transition. Some people make it quickly, some people make it slowly, and unfortunately, some people will never make that transition at all. Which is we have to go through this transition of being responsible for the job and then turning into somebody who's now responsible for the people who are responsible for the job. And as I said before, one of the great things that is lacking in most of our companies is that they are not teaching us how to lead. And leadership is a skill like any other, is a practicable, learnable skill. And it is something that you work on. It's like a muscle. If you practice it all the days, you will get good at it and you will become a strong leader. If you stop practicing, you will become a weak leader. Like parenting, everyone has the capacity to be a parent. Doesn't mean everybody wants to be a parent, and doesn't mean everybody should be a parent. Leadership is the same. We all have the capacity to be a leader. Doesn't mean everybody should be a leader, and it doesn't mean everybody wants to be a leader. And the reason is because it comes at great personal sacrifice. Remember, you're not in charge, you're responsible for those in your charge. That means things like when everything goes right, you have to give away all the credit. When everything goes wrong, you have to take all the responsibility. That sucks, right? It's things like staying late to show somebody what to do. It's things like when something does actually break, when something goes wrong, instead of yelling and screaming and taking over, you say, try again. When the overwhelming pressures are not on them, the overwhelming pressures are on us. At the end of the day, great leaders are not responsible for the job. They're responsible for the people who are responsible for the job. They're not even responsible for the results. I love talking to CEOs and say, what's your priority? And they put their hands on their hips so proudly and say, my priority is my customer. I'm like, really? You haven't talked to a customer in 15 years. There's no CEO on the planet responsible for the customer. They're just not. They're responsible for the people who are responsible for the people who are responsible for the customer.
Like Simon Sinek, I believe that you manage processes and lead people. And a transactional leadership style is more apropos for a manager. I encourage all you to continue your study and research on successful leadership styles and form strategies that you can model in your own organization to grow and hone your own style that fits you best and your organization. Thank you.